how am I supposed to record with you in my chair, huh? Oh, the joys of having a kitty. Come on, in my lap. Let's do this. Let's do it. Hi. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Say hello. Say hello. You're so fluffy. The big purse. You were very sad that I wasn't going to let you in the room at first, huh? Yeah. Yeah, you gonna tell everyone hi? Oh. All right. Well, hello, my little Luxxes. This is Cosplayer Charsie Luxxx, and welcome to another Charsie Chats, where I do very little to almost no edits whatsoever. So what you see is what you are going to get. So I am going to be very distracted with this beautiful little cat in my lap that is wanting a lot of attention all of a sudden. You were all sleepy a minute ago. So I should just sit here and stare at the camera for like a few seconds or so with this look of why? Because I am recording this again. I don't know what happened with the last recording. I went to put it up, work on it, do the few edits that I would need to do so that I could put it together, produce it, and get it uploaded to my YouTube, and the files were corrupted. So I'm like, okay, we're gonna take a step back, we're gonna go take a breather, and we're just going to take a moment to not freak out, for one. We've gone through this rodeo before, and so my thought process was, okay, I can re-record this. It's not that big of a deal. Maybe this is my life lesson telling me, hey, you can redo this and you can do this better. And it's not so much the Charsie Chats one that I am so worried about. It's more of the other one that we lost. So it's okay. I will breathe through it. Just wanted to jump in here real quick just to mention the fact that my audio probably does sound a little bit different. I have a brand new mic that I've been working on and testing with, which might have been what I had the issue with in the first place. But we will proceed on and see how things go, and continuing on with the rest of Charsie Chats. Anyway, we're going to stay positive. I am not going to let it get me down, no matter how much I want to just freak out and just throw everything. That's not mature. So for Charsie Chats, like I said, that this is supposed to be more laid back, more me being more comfortable with just being able to have a flow, talk about anything and everything that can be like something going on in the world, or just anything that if somebody brings an idea to me or maybe a subject to talk about. And like a perfect example would be the fact that our wonderful government has actually finally admitted that we have aliens out there in the world. And the world is just like, yeah, we know. It's almost as if it's not a big deal. I mean, maybe it's because the rest of us all kind of knew, and the ones that, don't believe, it's like, how? In the huge expanse of the galaxy that we have out there, for us to think and assume that we are the only thing out there in the world that's just so closed-minded. I don't know. It blows my mind that. And they've proven that there are other galaxies out there, that there are other situations and other planets that are just as similar to Earth. And those have the possibility to have life just like what Earth does. But it blows my mind to stop and think about the fact that our government announced finally that aliens are real. And the rest of the world was just like, yeah, we know. And I think a majority of us who have all been conspiracy theorists do conspiracy theories that now when we're hearing that the government's coming out and talking about aliens, our next thought, I mean, maybe I need to go put my tinfoil hat on and everything, but the next thought is, why is it coming out now? Why are they telling us this? What is this to distract us from? And I mean, I know we have the elections coming up soon, but unfortunately, I have officially gotten to that point in my life that maybe this is something I inherited from my dad, because this is always how my dad felt too. And it's been that way for years. So obviously that probably leaked in a little bit. But it's good to question everything. And the fact that it's really does feel like, what are they distracting us from? What is going on right now that they don't want us focused on? And we keep finding out about this kind of stuff. Like the same thing about the submarine that imploded under the ocean. And the fact that the Navy knew right away that there was an explosion at the time that the connection with the submarine was lost. And it was even given to the authorities, and they said, hey, this is what's going on. But they were told by the president, hey, keep the search going, keep the hope going. And it was televised, and everybody's, and I mean, yes, especially for the families and everything. I mean, I know there's been a lot of jokes, a lot of memes and things going around about the fact that they were just billionaires and that, but I mean, I still feel for them. They're human beings. It's still something to take seriously and to still feel for the families and feel for the lives lost. That, yes, obviously we want to hope for the best, but also with the realization that anything that would go wrong, especially at that depth and with that amount of pressure, it doesn't take much for something like that to implode, which is exactly what happened. But it was told to all the news and everything to just keep talking about it, to keep talking about the search. And it was one of those things where it's like, yes, we all want to be hopeful about it, but we also should be informed that, hey, there was an explosion at the time that the connection for communication was lost. So it's not looking good. And I mean, if you get the chance where you do find survivors, then hot damn, it's even more amazing and everything. But it's just one of those weird things that we're supposed to focus on this situation that's going on at the same time that President Biden's son is getting into trouble for a lot of certain things that we should have been focusing on. And I don't like getting into politics that much, because I mean, they always say like there's three things that you should never talk about with anybody, and that's politics, money, and religion, because all people are ever going to do is just fight over it. But I'm always under the assumption that these are things that we should be discussing, but we also talk about the fact that the idea of a discussion and the idea of a conversation is completely lost on people. And that obviously, with the elections coming up and everything, my thought process is always the idea of, I hate the feeling of going to the polls and that I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. And that is how it's felt for the last how many elections. And I don't like that. I'm not, it shouldn't be a surprise. I don't like Trump and I don't like Biden. I don't think either one of them should be our president. I feel like we have so many better options out there. We should have somebody who's more able to represent the middleman, and somebody that actually just understands people and what everybody's going through. But the way that our election system is made, and the fact that it costs like millions and millions of dollars just to even be a candidate, which is ridiculous. that we can't have someone who's an honest person. Anybody that comes in that's an honest person, I mean, obviously, our government doesn't want them in office. They want somebody that they can use as a scapegoat. They actually probably want somebody that the people hate and despise in office due to the fact that they can push all the guilt on the person that is in front of the camera. And I mean, I don't want to have anything against Trump or Biden, but you just look at all the shitty things they've done throughout their life. And people have to understand that with Trump, I haven't liked him since I was a kid. That stupid apprentice show that he had, it's like, I don't see why anybody would like him. And I feel the exact same way about Biden. I mean, they both just seem like dishonest people. And we keep seeing these examples. And it's one of those things. Like I said, I want to have this as a discussion, a conversation that if you do, for whatever reason, that you admire Trump or you admire Biden, I'm not knocking it on you. Let's have this be a calm conversation for us to discuss it. Like, why do you admire them? But also understand with an idea that I will listen to you and hear you out as long as you're coming to me with critical thinking and a calm conversation. But as soon as it turns to what people have normally been doing now, the things that have been normalized, is that people come in with insults or they call you an idiot. And that just because you think differently than them, that you're stupid and that you're not valid. And it's one of those things where my mind will just turn off from that right away. Because if you just go straight to insults and calling somebody stupid, no, that's not okay. But also, it's got to come to the conclusion that people can agree to disagree. Because no matter what you could come and tell me about Trump or Biden, I'm never going to like them because of everything that I know and everything that I was raised on. Like, I was raised on documentaries that were exposing Trump and for his shitty behavior. Especially if you watch documentaries from over in Scotland and Ireland and England and the shit that he used to pull over there, and that he would kick people out of their homes they have lived in for generations just because he wanted to set up a golf course for himself. That's not okay. That's not even your country. Be respectful to other people and their wishes and their wants. But, it's just those things that I want to rant and vent about. But it's also, these are important things that we should be discussing, and that we have an election coming up here soon. And I don't feel like the two main candidates that they have up there are good enough for the American people. I want us to have better. I am ready for better. But we're not given better. We're given high taxes. We're given high prices for bills and for groceries and everyday living. But we're not given raises, and we're not respected in the workplace, and everybody's just so angry and disgruntled, so they take it out on each other. I see retail workers that don't care about their job anymore, and they don't know what the true meaning of thank you is anymore. We see customers that are rude and ungrateful, and just they take out their bad day on the people around them. Because I am passionate about this stuff. I am emotional about it because obviously I want better for everybody, and I wish everybody else, and actually I shouldn't even say that, everybody else wants the same thing. We all want better, but we are a part of a system that has purposely made it to where we are all against each other. We have a two-party system where both sides just fight and bicker, and it's that way set up with everything. And I know it's not just a problem and an issue in the United States, that there are other countries that deal with the exact same problems, but it is very prevalent here in the United States that we are literally designed to almost hate each other at this point. And that's not okay. We need to get to the point where it's like, there was a point in history where the original colonies decided they didn't want to pay the high taxes of the nobility over in the UK. So where's our Boston Tea Party now? Like, seriously. Because things are getting bad. And unfortunately, they're probably just going to get worse before they get better. And I've heard several people that are in the older generation where that's another thing. We need to listen to our older generation a lot more. But I've been listening to them where they're like, we've had tough times like this before and we've bounced back. So I need to remind myself of that kind of stuff too. That it's like, yeah, we don't have any unity right now, but something's going to give. And at some point, we're all going to finally start working together again and be like, hey, we deserve better. Let's work together. And let's get people in office that do care, that do actually want to fix things. And let's stop lying to ourselves that the people that are been in Congress and the House of Representation, that they care, and that we need to have them at limited terms, just like we do with the presidency. Because last I checked, we left the whole idea that we wouldn't have a royalty system, a nobility, or anything like that. So that should include for the Supreme Courts and Congress, so for Senates and the House of Representation, that they need to have term limits, actual term limits, and that we recycle people. Because the ones that are there now are not doing their jobs. And us, as the American people, we don't have to put up with it. And no, I am not a specialist in that field. I'm not a politician, but I am technically semi a historian because I do have a degree and a minor in history, and I love history. I'm always researching and looking at stuff. But it's just, there's no reason why we shouldn't want better for everybody. And like I said, I wanted to bring this forward, and it's very uncomfortable to talk about because I see how people act online. Like I just saw yesterday where someone just had a friendly warning about animals with rabies and what to look out for. And I watched this guy in the comment section get in an argument with just about everybody on that comment section. They had an opposing view to what he felt. And he wasn't hearing anybody out. Like, the whole discussion was about the fact that the guy in his little short had mentioned that if you don't seek medical assistance, getting a bite from an animal with rabies is 100% fatal, which is true. But his argument was that there are a few people out there who have survived from rabies bites. And I think somebody came out and said the number was like 29 people known in history have survived without medical assistance. So other people were like, okay, so it's 99.99%, which is still 100%. Because if you're any kind of mathematician, which clearly this guy wasn't, or anybody just knows basic math, that you round that up, it's still 100%. 29 people out of all of history, that if you get bit by an animal, go seek medical assistance. That's all there is to it. But I'm literally watching this guy just arguing with everybody just to argue. So me putting this forward is scary as fuck because you know that people are going to come at you, or in this case, are going to come at me with just their point of view, and that instead of coming in a friendly manner, it's just going to be anger and aggression. And it's like, you need to push that anger and aggression at the right source. We don't need to be doing it among each other, among everyone. There's a source that we should be focusing this displeasure on, and we're not doing that correctly. And like I said, even watching that guy when he was just arguing on just a simple post about warning people about rabies and seeking medical help, and he in his comments turned it political. None of the people that were talking to him were making it political, and he twisted it and started accusing them of being Trump supporters, and obviously they couldn't see the clear picture. So then when people would actually come back at him with political views and things, he would defend himself by saying, "You're the one who made it political and got offended by it." And it's like, hold up. I know for a fact from all the comments I've been reading that he was the one who did that. But that's one of my banes, is that I need to learn to not read comment sections of things, because you're just seeing more and more people that are just trolling and just being jackasses just because they can. They can be behind a keyboard, they can be behind a computer, and they feel safe that way. And they feel like they can say and do whatever they want. And it's just, these are obviously people who are very unhappy with their lives, very unhappy with the state of the world, and they need to direct that anger the correct, appropriate way. And people need to stop fighting with each other, because we should want the exact same things. We should want a better world. We should want a better future. Especially with the elections coming up, and it's just, I don't even know what I'm going to do, because like I said, I am tired of feeling like I'm voting for the lesser of two evils. We need a third party. We need something to break away from this two-party system, because it sucks and it's not working. But we're going to end it here, because obviously it's a very heated topic here. Oh, thank you for joining me once again on another Charsie Chats. I'm your host, Charsie Luxxx. And let me know in the comments down below, what are your feelings? And just let's have a calm, rational conversation about it. And like I said, I will always hear people out. And just because I have a certain opinion about certain people that I will not change my opinion on, it should definitely be listening. But I also need to realize that when people are being trolls and jerks and assholes, that it's like I need to just tune them out. Tune them out. And like that one guy in the comment section, it's like I was getting aggravated and I wasn't even a part of the conversation. Oh, but thank you once again so much for joining me here. And if you would like to follow me on my other social medias, you can follow me on my Twitter for Charsie Luxxx with 3 X's, or on my Instagram or Threads for Charsie87, or also on my Blue Sky for Charsie Luxxx with 3 X's. And I will even do my little saying that I got a new saying that my husband had helped me with, and that, remember to always slay, subscribe, like, and always be yourself. Until next time, my little Luxxes, I hope you have a Luxxy Charms kind of day. And be nice to each other. For the love of God, we need to spread more kindness. Till next time, bye.